first graders and anyone else who is going to sew this chick with us. This is a tutorial to sew a little chickie, and I haven't made one before, so I don't have one to show you, but hopefully by the end of this video you'll be able to see what it looks like and you can go from there. For this project you're going to need your paper pattern, and when you cut your paper pattern out you'll have the body, the belly, the wing, and the beak. You need to cut two of these, one of these, and one of these. It's also helpful obviously to have some scissors, some pins, some stuffing, a needle and thread, and if you don't have embroidery floss, you can use regular thread. But if you don't even have that, have your mom or dad email me or text me and I will make sure you get some. So I've put together so many packets in the last week and a half that I can't remember exactly what's in there, but you should have 2 colors of felt. You should have a small, well, more than 2. One of them is going to be brown or gray. Save that for our next project. You should have another color, probably either this purple or maroon color. That's your chick color. And then you should have a smaller square or rectangle that should be yellow or orange. I can't remember which color it was. And so those are going to be the wool felt that you're going to use for this project. Be very careful when you place your pattern pieces to make sure they all fit. If you just put it right in the middle of your felt, you're going to run out and you're not going to have enough for the whole pattern. So you might need to get your parents to help you lay the pattern pieces out just right. Why don't you go ahead and pause and cut out your pattern pieces, pin your pattern pieces to your felt and cut out your felt, and then come on back. So now that you have your felt cut out, you're going to start with your 2 body pieces. And this is perhaps a little dark for this. I'm sorry I didn't think about how dark the felt would be on camera, but let's see if we can make it work. You'll also need your beak. So you're going to start, you have 2 body pieces, you're going to start by placing your beak right where you think a beak should go on your bird's face. And you're going to knot your thread. Remember to hide your knot on the inside. And then you're going to do blanket stitch. For the beak, it might be easier actually just to do a running stitch. So I'm going to do a couple blanket stitches down below here, below the beak. And then I'm just going to go up and down through all 3 layers of felt. So make sure you're going through all 3 layers of felt, and you're going to do an up and down stitch. Oh, sorry, I left the frame of view. To sew your beak in place. Trying a new camera setup today, and I'm not sure if I like it or not. Alright, so then we're going to continue. Once we get back to the top of the beak here, we're going to go back to blanket stitch. And if you need to pin your pieces together to keep them in place, you can. I usually just hold mine together, but I've been sewing a long time. So feel free to pin your pieces together if that keeps them from slipping. I'm going to sew all the way across the back here until I get just past the tail. And if this is the first project you're doing with me and you don't know blanket stitch, you can do a quick lookup. There's lots of videos on blanket stitch. But if you don't find a good one you like, let me know. Or you can watch one of my previous videos. I've done little tutorials on blanket stitch in some of the other videos. And so all the way past the tail. And you can take your time. I'm sewing pretty quickly because I don't want you to have to sit here and watch this forever. But please feel free to take your time. Don't rush. Remember when you're doing blanket stitch to pull your loop, so you pull your thread through all the way until your loop isn't twisted anymore. If your loop is twisted, you'll get a knot when you go through. So we're going to sew our little friend until we get to about there, and then grab your belly piece. You're going to open this up, your 2 layers there, and we're going to put the belly piece in place. And now I'm going to hold the belly and the body, and I'm going to sew up one side of it here. I'm going to sew up one side, and then I'm going to come back down the other. And if you run out of thread and you need to knot and thread a new thread, that's fine. All right, so I want you to go ahead and sew your belly piece into place. Sew down this side to the chin and back here until about the middle of the second side. We're going to leave 1.5 inches maybe unsewed, and when we come back in the second video we'll stuff it.